let's get on with the news. And in our first story, the Food and Drugs Authority has destroyed several truckloads of unwholesome canned mackerel. It says could have caused paralysis and even death if it had not been detected and ultimately consumed by consumers. And the products were impounded at the Ofankor area here in Accra last week after the FDA officials intercepted the trucks which were en route to the Republic of Togo. Head of Food and Drugs Enforcement Department, Maria Lovelace Johnson, revealed the product did not go through due production processes and were therefore unsafe for consumption. Nancy Emefa Jiradosi reports.
So that is the last batch of the 4,500 unwholesome canned fish imported into the country that was impounded by the Food and Drugs Authority and started crashing it by yesterday. Now we understand that this unwholesome goods, if consumed, would have resulted in some paralysis or death.
The canning was not done properly. In canning, we have what we call retorting, or for the layman, some kind of heat treatment that ensures that all the microorganisms in the products have been destroyed. And there is one microorganism that's quite troublesome when it comes to canned products. It produces some toxin, and that toxin, very little of it can even wipe out a population. It can cause paralysis, and it can be fatal as well.
The documents covering the products which were imported into the country indicate that they were on transit to Togo but were diverted onto the Ghanaian market. Maria Lovelace Johnson, who is the head of the food enforcement at the FDA, says her outfit will step up its supervision at the ports to ensure that such products do not find its way onto the Ghanaian market.
From the ports, we need to intensify our surveillance there. Even if the products is said to be going to another country, we need to still be part of the tracking system. Once it is passing through Ghana, from this experience, we're not just going to let go like that. We need to be notified so that at each point we'll be tracking. We will know that, well, this product is passing through Ghana. Is it out of Ghana yet? Once it is not out of Ghana, we will know that the product is here, and our PMS units will be on them and will do proper enforcement.
She, however, says the importer will be made to face the full rigors of the law.
He has to pay a fine or go to jail, or both, and each count might have its own offense, as in its own penalty. But it's a huge amount of money, actually.
City authorities in Kumasi are deploying more than 150 national service personnel to educate the public on the need to practice proper sanitation. It is the first in the Metropolitan Assembly's campaign to rid the city of filth and restore its garden city status. Nanaya Ojima was at the closing ceremony of a 3-day training for the task force.
Personnel went through communication skills and other relevant tutorials for the job ahead. The sanitation crusaders are mandated to educate groups and individuals on acceptable sanitation practices for 1 month. It will be followed by spot fines against offenders, though the amount and enforcement procedure are yet to be made public. Metropolitan Chief Executive Osei Esibe Entry anticipates a successful campaign to help improve the local economy.
Gone are the days. At that time, every taxi driver in Kumasi that you meet was decently dressed. Decently dressed, why? Because he wanted to catch the eyes of the whites, of the tourists, of the foreigners who will be coming into the city. And the youth neatly dressed in their white tops to be at the airport, also to get business to do. That is the reason why Kumasi has the larger number of hotels. It tells you that there was a lot of businesses for them. Had it not been that, they wouldn't have built all these hotels. Now, everywhere you go, people are just dumping refuse anyhow, littering anywhere. But the question is that, what has really happened? what has really happened.
Meanwhile, a public interest advocate challenges the task force to use the opportunity to contribute to national development. Dr. Ernest Kwako wants the assembly to consider processing waste into organic manure for agricultural use. Reporting for JoyNews, Nana Yaojima.
Ghana risks losing valuable wildlife if plans to mine bauxite in the Etiwa Forest Reserve in the eastern region materializes. The Coalition of Students in Conservation fears it is a price the country would pay in the over $15 billion proposed Ghana-China joint venture. At a press conference in Kumasi, members called on government to declare the reserve a national park.
We agree and stand with many well-meaning Ghanaians and all civil society organizations as well as research institutions calling for the delisting of Etiwa Forest Reserve from areas targeted for bauxite mining, particularly for its water provisioning functions in this new deal with the Chinese. We call on the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his Vice, His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, to, as a matter of agency, 1, publish and share the details of the Memorandum of Understanding signed with the Chinese government so the Ghanaian public can make healthy and informed decisions and also pave the way for deliberations and solutions to foster sustainable development, bearing in mind the details of the barter trade agreement. 2, delist Etiwa Forest Reserve from targeted areas for bauxite mining before the final agreement takes for a full force in order to secure our water supply for today and tomorrow. 3, we appeal to His Excellency, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to use his executive power to declare Etiwa Forest as a national park.
The WA campus of the University of Development Studies, with support from the United Children Education Fund, will inculcate children or child protection programs into the university's curricula. The move, according to authorities, is to equip students with knowledge on sensitive child issues. In addition, the university will also run a certificate course for practitioners on the field. Rafiq Salam has more in this report.
Since the establishment of the University for Development Studies, it has been offering to students programs for undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate level in response to growing socio-economic challenges and market demands. One unique characteristic of the university is the third trimester field practical program. Under the program, the students are sent to rural communities where they live and interact with rural folks to identify their problems and opportunities in a holistic manner. Despite the success chalked on the program, the university felt that there's still the need to imbibe in the students knowledge on child protection and also run a certificate course on it. United Nations Children Fund UNICEF brought the idea of the University for Development Studies proposal to mainstream child protection programs into their curricula. Dr. Sylvester Galar is the acting principal of the WA campus of the University for Development Studies.
There are two aspects of the training. One, where our curriculum would be mainstream child protection issues, and that will be targeting the students who are taking integrated development studies. But the standalone, which is a capacity building program, is targeting actors in the field, people who are already engaged in child protection issues, whether they are working with street children, they are working with children in institutions, whether it's at correctional homes.
Child protection is now a major concern in Ghana. Maltreatment of children is now alarming. The Ghana Living Standard Survey in 2013 pegged 23.4% of children aged between 5 to 14 years to be engaged in some form of economic activities. Consultants for the project, Dr. Bray Okason and Professor Magnus Umfafo Makati of the Wilfred Laurier University in Canada, are upbeat about the success of the project.
So one way to do that is to train professionals in child protection issues about how to deal with things like neglect and abuse, and how to support families, how to support mothers and fathers. So we're doing that by training the next generation of people, of students, to work with children and families and communities.
What we are looking at is educating students. So first and foremost, having this agreement with UDS, where professors would really make it part of their curriculum and train students. Students will go into the community, they'll be working with families and other things, and based on the knowledge that they've acquired, they'll also be able to educate parents in the community. So that is how we're looking at it at the moment. So this is the initial stage, and we believe that as time goes on, it's really going to be implemented in other areas as well.
Students from the Faculty of Integrated Development Studies of the university will benefit from the over $200 project coordinated by senior lecturer at the Department of Sociopolitical and Historical Studies, Dr. Joan Gasu.
We expect that every student who goes through the Faculty of Integrated Development Studies is sensitive and adequately knowledgeable about child protection issues, such that they can be able to function very well in the field, in agencies that have something to do with child protection, even as they live here as graduates in development studies.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Repair works to refill what some have described as monstrous potholes on the Accra-Tema motorway have begun, and authorities are optimistic it will be completed in 6 weeks. It follows concerns over the dilapidated nature of the highway that has exposed motorists and commuters to danger over the years. Matilda Pamaga joined officials of the Ghana Highways Authority to inspect the repair works and has come through with this report.
The 19-kilometer highway linking Accra to Ghana's main industrial hub and port, Tema, was built over 50 years ago and has been a vital route used by many. Official statistics from the Ghana Highway Authority indicate over 100,000 commuters ply the route every day. But years of use and inadequate maintenance have left the highway with huge potholes, which have been blamed on the frequent accidents there. There have been a few quick fixes, but those have not helped because bitumen, which is used to patch the potholes, is not effective. Experts say the highway, having been originally constructed with concrete, will continue to wear out with the introduction of any other material. But officials from the Ghana Highway Authority, who inspected the ongoing maintenance works on the motorway, say it has deteriorated beyond the point of being salvaged, hence the use of concrete will be counterproductive. Chief Executive of the Ghana Highway Authority, Engineer Victor Owusu, explains why.
It's just to restore the riding quality, to ensure that there is safe and expeditious traffic flow, to make the motoring public comfortable. The accident fatalities on this road is very, very high as a result of these fatalities. We are having up to 1,200 traffic crashes over the last 10 years, with over 300 deaths. And with the intervention, is going to address some of these deficiencies. The road has deteriorated beyond the salvage point, 8 salvage points. So going for concrete will be counterproductive, because within the next few months or so, this road is going to be reconstructed. So why spend that much? We're using asphalt. The reason is simple. Asphalt, within the next few minutes, the vehicles can use the roadway. But with concrete, it has to take several days for it to cure or harden before vehicles can use. That means we have to create detours, diversions, and that will cause a lot of inconvenience to the motoring public.
But you, the experts, have already said that the concrete is the best way to go.
The concrete is the best because it is durable, it is long-lasting, and that is going to be used when we go in for the PPP.
The patch-up works form part of a 1.9 million cedi contract to periodically repair the highway and is expected to last 2 years. Here's Regional Highway Director, Engineer Lawrence Lamptey.
About 1.9 million cedis.
And what exactly is supposed to cover?
He's supposed to have cut out all the cracks and the potholes into rectangular shapes, fill back with raw material, put in bitumen for bonding, and then place in asphalt and roll and compact also.
So this temporary work is supposed to last us until the time the main work begins?
Yes, exactly. And to add to that, the contractor is still on site, so any other issues that arises, the contractor will take care of it until the PPP takes over.
Currently, the Ghana Highway Authority is in the process of entering a public-private partnership to rebuild the entire stretch of the Accra-Tema motorway next year. For Joy News, Matilda Pumagang, Tema.
Well, still do remember that we are in the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so on the show we bring you daily messages to give a lot more recognition, but also educate you on what you need to do as far as breast cancer is concerned. And just within the period, breast cancer awareness campaigners at the University of Cape Coast are calling on men to play a pivotal role in the fight against breast cancer amongst women in Ghana. Statistics available at the Ghana Health Service are indicating that 99% of breast cancer patients are women. As the world has earmarked October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, doctors at the School of Medical Sciences at the university want men to develop an interest in the breast of women by prompting them to check their breast on a monthly basis. Richard Kwejo-Nyakon has more in this report.
The breast has two major functions for infant nutrition and female sexuality. What actually makes the woman look like a woman? At the School of Medical Science at the University of Cape Coast, the doctors have been encouraging women to check their breasts and report changes that do occur and not to wait until they begin to feel pains in their breasts. For them, early detection and treatment is key to a healthy breast. According to a chemical pathologist at the School of Medical Sciences, Dr. Frangati, there are a number of cases that appear in the hospitals, but most of them are reported rather too late, making such women suffer the consequences for such delays. Dr. Gati wants men to develop great interest in the breast of women and to help them detect changes in the breast very early.
And we have to make sure women are healthy. And if their life can be shortened by having breast cancer, then we should all be concerned. Our sisters are also very dear to us, and we're also married. Some of us have wives, some have girlfriends, and all that. So we need to make sure they are healthy. Of course, if you're a married man, then you have access to see your wife's breasts, a chance to see your wife's breasts. But if you're not married, you just advise and leave it there. But if you are married, then you have access to your wife's breast. And then with the knowledge that you have acquired from these awareness campaigns and programs, you can advise your wife, or you can even help with a monthly breast examination, that sort of thing. There are instances where it is the men who prompted their wives about changes in their breast, and that saved their lives. So the cardinal message is this: don't wait for pain before you visit a doctor. Once you notice any breast changes that were not there before, recently have occurred, and there's no pain, that is the time to go.
Dr. Frangati wants women to live a healthy lifestyle, reduce or shun alcohol intake, keep the dietary risk in mind, and also exercise regularly. His colleague, Dr. Akwesi Ayamfo, has over the years been leading the team from one community to the other to examine the breast of women, and when dangers are detected, they refer them to their surgeons for action to be taken. He expressed surprise about the unwillingness of many educated women to examine and to get their breasts screened.
But now with this instrument, this gadget called the breast eye, what we do is in a dark room, we just light it and put it under the lady's breast, and the lady's breast eliminates. This instrument can detect blood, and any blood appears black. So when cancer is developing, there is a whole network of blood vessels around it. So this instrument detects that blood vessels, and then we can tell you there is something suspicious. Once we detect something suspicious, then we refer you to our surgeon, who is Dr. Mona and Professor Deborah. They take it from there. So we are more advocates. We go around screening.
The team from the School of Medical Sciences will later this month hold the Fit Ogwa Breast Cancer Awareness Campaign with the First Lady in attendance. Richard Kwejo-Nyakon, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Well, so let's bring you a breast cancer awareness message for this morning. Well, so that'll be it. We hope that we can give you a lot more of those messages. But just in case you also want to give us your experiences with how you have knowledge or go about, or perhaps you've experienced the disease, let us know as you get interactive with us. Facebook JoyNews on TV, and as you get interactive through our Twitter handle. But we have to take a break.